there, and let's get to it. Hello everybody, and welcome back to the tier list update. It's your favourite tier list boy, Alpha Jackal, coach of Team Rival. And once again, this is going to be put onto YouTube afterwards, so if you miss a stream, then congratulations, you can watch it on YouTube. If you're watching from YouTube, it is going to be streamed every Thursday afternoon, some point between 5 and 8, or 5 and 9, sorry, UK time. What I'm sort of looking at. Depends on what time we're playing on the SPL, if we're playing on the SPL that day as well. And there's a whole list of other things, but that's sort of like another topic. Just before we get into this, as per usual, this is predominantly done on a European meta, though there is going to be some stuff taken from the North American meta. This is for high-level competitive play. We're talking SPL, high-level SMITE minor league, as well as a tiny bit of a pinch from the global series and the Xbox scene. There is a slightly different meta for the Xbox scene, which is why that one's going to be like the least impactful, but it's still going to be used here and there. And with that all said and done, let's get done with this tier list for the 5.9 update. We briefly touched upon the 5.9 patch in the last tier list update because of the changes to the patch note schedule. This one's going to be more of a sorting out of characters who have been put too high or too low and stayed there for too long. So, let's get started. Terra, going to be the first one, going to move down to S. Oh yeah, I haven't clicked edit, haven't I? That's a brilliant start there. So professional. Yeah, Terra's going to move down to S. She's still super impactful. Historically, Terra has been impactful and incredibly OP when her ult has been incredibly impactful and overpowered. Recently got hit with a nerf, and that nerf has seemed to have taken its toll in the SPL. No longer top pick, top ban contender, and sometimes even foregone in picks and bans altogether. No longer an S+ god, but it's still extremely impactful with that ultimate if able to play at the correct place. That's going to do it for the, these three are going to stay in S+ for now. Sobek potentially could move down depending on how the boots change effects soloing. Athena, however, is going to be moving up. I've been saying it. She's been broken for a long-ass time. Now we're starting to see it. Now every team is starting to agree, you know what, Athena is broken. And she's rightly up there in S+. As I was talking about before the stream, before the update actually started, Athena would be SS if she was top pick, top ban in every game. But she isn't. There are times when she's let through the first round of picks and bans and then got through to the second round of bans. And banned, I believe there was a couple of games where she was even let through completely and not touched by either team. So S+, out of everybody in the tier list, she is the closest to an SS god. Not let this sort of fool you. Athena is your top pick in the SPL right now. Camazotz is going to be moving down. Big hefty jump for him, down to A+. Other assassins and other warriors in the solo lane, if you're playing him in solo, just do his job better. Camazotz is there to do damage and do damage only, and also be a bit of a distraction when it's bad out of hell. But other gods will do pretty much the same damage, just a tiny bit under, but also provide CC, provide setup for your mid laners, for your hunters, to do damage as well. Which means overall you're getting a damage increase by picking a god that's doing less damage, but bringing more control. Camazotz does not bring that control, he needs to get ahead in the early game, and he's not able to do so right now. And that's going to do it for your changes for the S category. SMITE is going to have quite a few changes here. A couple of gods moving down, a couple of gods moving up. First off, on her, going to move down to A+. He thrives off solo kills, thrives off the 1v1s, thrives off bullying out your opponent, and you're just not seeing the potential to 1v1 these days. More to the point, you're seeing a lot more crit builds, and on her is one that really wants to go for an attack speed pen build. You can still build that in this meta, that's still fine, but crit builds are becoming more predominant, and on her is suffering because of it. These gods like Xbalanque, gods like Artemis, gods like Rum are starting to thrive, and they're starting to punish the on her pick. We saw it earlier today in SML, and you don't see on her picked up too much as well. Morrigan, going to be moving down to A. Big jump down for the Morrigan. I still personally think She is one of the best gods, if not the best god to pick when you have no idea what to pick. Because she fits into any single composition because she can become anyone that's in the game. Oh, you seem to be lacking CC? Well, now you have 2 Guardians on your side for 10 seconds during this fight. Boom, you now have enough CC. Oh, you're missing burst on this objective? Boom, you have 2 Shibalonkes. You're taking the objectives in 2 seconds. The issue is, she's just not being picked. Defensive items are really strong right now. Items like Magi's Blessing is starting to be picked up on a lot of characters. The Magi's Blessing meta has died down a bit, so you're not seeing it too much. I was going to say Magi's Cloak. It used to be Magi's Blessing at the beginning of the season, but then they changed it because Mage's Blessing and Magi's Blessing sounds close together, but that's beside the point. But the bubble is no more in every single god. But you're starting to see a lot more defensive items come out in general. Some mid laners will build Warlock Staff, and that's really shutting down Morrigan's ability to kill them. You can see a lot of ADCs have good self-peel. Thank you for the follow, and I forgot to turn off alerts again. Again, professional tier list update. Oh yeah, you're seeing a lot more self-peel oriented hunters come out, with like Shibbolonke and Artemis and Ram, able to bait out and delay the Morrigan from getting that kill, getting the reset that she wants, and it's hurting her. Straight up, it's hurting her. Also, another point, gods like Raven and Susanoo, who she comboed extremely well with in the jungle, because double Raven or double Susanoo was fucking nuts back in Season 4, starting to fall out a bit. Raven, not so much. I still think he's decent from now and then, but Susanoo definitely has fallen out a fair bit, and Morrigan has suffered because of it. Fafnir is going to move down to A+ as well. And don't worry, there's a lot of gods in A+. That's being fixed in just a minute. Something due to the fact that you're seeing limited play with the Fafnir. You're only really seeing it when you have that double hunter composition, at which point he is probably the best support to have outside of Athena, because Athena is fucking broken. Needs a nerf. That dash, that shield wall damage, just something needs to go down from her. But yeah, Fafnir, only really picked double ADCs, doesn't justify an S- rating. A+, good spot for him right now. He's okay. Now for 2 gods which are going to move up from your S-, and it's going to be these 2 bad boys here. I said during the last tier list update that we would see how they would perform in the Pro League before we place them higher, and both of them performed extremely well. One year going to be moving up to S+. We have 5 gods in S+ for the first time in a long time. Massive success rate. We've seen him played in multiple roles, even in the SMITE Global Series. We've seen him played at the jungle, and I believe other teams have started to experiment that with as well in the SPL. So 3-role wonder for the Guan Yu. Absolutely insane teamfight potential. He is going to be nerfed in 5.10, I believe. He has to be, at the very least. I mean, if they're not really seeing the stats, already seeing what's going on. So, Guan Yu currently at the top of the play right now. If you're picking Guan Yu, you can put him in 3 roles and you can be happy with it, because he's bringing so much control to the team fight, so much sustain as well, and so much protection shred. If you want to know how crazy Guan Yu's protection shred is, because you have your passive up and having that bonus protection shred on your Talo Assault, at max rank, you are swinging 90 protections. You are stealing 45 from him. So if you're fighting a tier, you're taking 45 protections away from the tier and you're putting them onto yourselves for 5 seconds. That is ludicrous. Shibbolonke gonna move up to S. Closest hunter right now to an S+, I would say, but doesn't justify it because A, hunters are typically 1-role gods. You have your exceptions with like Ola or Huyi because they can play multiple roles. That's, again, beside the point. And hunters aren't typically your meta makers. They're not particularly the driving force behind the team's success. That's more so on the junglers, the mid laners, the supports. You know, your core is really what's winning you the game, winning you the early game, and giving you the control that you need for your hunter to shine. Which they will do, which Shibbolonke will shine. Shibbolonke will shine in the team fights in that mid and late game stage. And we have seen that. When he's been picked, he has shone in that mid and late game stage. Just, if he had any semblance of a great laning phase, like if he won laning phase every single time, he would be S+. There are times when he's just not a great pick. And that's why he has the S rating. That's going to do it for us for the S- changes. Now to the big one. big ones. A+, seeing a lot of changes here. Vulcan, Scylla, Sol, Erlang Shen. Those 4 gods, all moving down to A, all for the same reason. Not seeing any picks. They're just not really seeing play whatsoever. They're going to move down. You can make the same sort of statement for Freya, but Freya, when played, is insanely good. We saw that last split with Funballer playing him. Yeah. That's Vulcan. That's Scylla. That's Sol. That's Erlang Shen. All moving down to A. One more change in the A+ category, and that's going to be Naja. Going to be moving up to S-. Started to see a fair bit more play in the SPL. Started to see a lot more success in the SPL. Moves up because of it. Not too much to say about that, other than, well, I'm happy for it. I like Naja, and I think Naja can be played in multiple roles. I think Naja does well in the jungle. I think that's his best role. But can also be played in the solo lane for counter matchups, and can also be played in the support role if you want a cheesy strat to get yourself pressure. 3 roles, really good for picks and bans, which is what you see a lot of the top picks being centered around. Their ability to sway picks and bans' ability to be flex picks. And that's it for the A+ changes. Now on to A, where we're going to be seeing a swap. Izanami going to be moving down, and Chiron going to be moving up. It's a straight swap. Chiron has his place as a counter pick. We see gods like Athena being picked up or Nox being picked up. You pick Chiron, you put the training exercise down, you cleanse the person who's been targeted by the taunt or the shadow lock, and boom, they're no longer affected by the CC. You can then kill that person. It's one of the strategies that Energy did at the very beginning of the season to find a win against us. And Chiron, ever since then, has been one of the go-to picks to shut down the Athena. And I think you're going to be seeing a lot more of him. He's also great in terms of being played in the mid lane if you really want to go for a double hunter composition. One of the top hunters to put in that mid lane. You're going to be seeing him behind Ulla, behind Hu Yi, and if your name's Baskin, behind Apollo and Medusa. And I think Chiron does have his place. Good counter pick, multiple roles. Same cannot be said for Izanami. Izanami is there simply to get the pressure in the early game, and she doesn't really achieve that. She's just dead in the water right now. She needs a tiny bit of help to give her her identity back. And I don't know what that identity is going to be. Do we want to see her shifted more towards an ability-based hunter? Do we want to see it shift more towards that stim, being impactful, being brilliant, also distracting a tiny bit away from the rest of her character? Do we want her unique basic attacks, that boomerang basic attacks? Do we want to see that be more impactful than it currently is? Who knows what the plan is going to be for Izanami, but she needs help. Pretty much everybody below A- needs help. Some of the characters in A- don't really need too much. Cabrakan gonna be moving up to A+. This isn't based on any stats or any scrim stats from my end at the very least. This is just based on perception of the meta and where it's likely to be leading. We've seen an influx of magical damage solo laners, we've seen an influx of magical damage junglers, specifically from Cherio. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just watch his set versus SK. All 3 games, he played a magical damaging jungler. And Cabrakan, he fits that bill as well. He fits that bill so well. Early game magical damage with good CC, good control, good lockdown. He's really good in this meta, I feel. With the boots buff coming in, I think you're going to be seeing him played a tiny bit more, by which I mean you're going to be seeing him played sometimes rather than no times. And more so in the jungle, I would feel, but you might see him in the solo lane, and much like the Naja, if you want to go for that early cheesy pressure strat in the duo lane, you might see him as a support and then look to transition into a bruiser with a bruiser jungler and a bruiser solo laner. Just to give you an idea of what sort of compositions you could pull off with a Cabrakan. And finally, last change of the tier list, Kumbhakana going to be moving up to A+. Sleepy Boy is here. Like I said in the last tier list or the tier list before that I wasn't really going to move Cumber unless he saw more success outside of counters to double hunter competitions, and he's done that. He's shown to be picked into many different compositions, and he's found success into those different compositions. He's got great control, good lockdown, and good setup for your mid-mages like Ra or Thoth, or even Poseidon if you really wanted to just peel for him, wait for his Whirlpool to come back up, and then just kill things. I think Cumber is starting to be on the rise. I don't think you'll see any more changes further up or down on the tier list unless he sees a buff or a nerf. More likely a buff, at which point he'll go up, and then receive a nerf to put him back down into pretty much obscurity. But that's where Cumber is going to be for now, in my opinion. And that is going to do it for the tier list update. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember, at some point during the week, I'm going to record a video of 5 gods you want me to talk about on this tier list and their placements, go in a bit more depth with them. Put your comments down below. I believe Morrigan is going to be one of the talked about gods. Even after this change, I'm going to talk about why she was high for so long. So, yeah. 4 more gods in the list, or if Morrigan's completely off the list now because I moved her, 5 new gods on that list to talk about in a video upcoming. I'll see you in the next one.